Hello, friends. No introduction needed. I'll be damned if you're not trading stocks with us. If you don't know about VWAV, let's get right into it because you should. And a big part, other than me being possibly one of the greatest traders ever, considering I've been day trading before there was a phrase. We invented the term day trading. I know where to go. I know what kind of market we're in, and I know what stocks to stay focused on. And when we have no earnings reports, I pick stocks right off the scanner and I look for unusual volume on unusual opportunities. And it brings us stocks like, I don't know if you guys know, but I'm gonna hold the best one for last. But if you guys don't know about VAPE, VAPE, $8 stock went to $172 this morning. What? Yeah, that happened. Was I in that move? No. You see that move right there? Where it broke the VWAP at $55 and went up to $75. How you doing? That is what we call a faux show, bro. VWAP break, right? Maybe you weren't awake then, right? Maybe you weren't hip to this idea yet. Okay, but maybe you were, right? And you came in and you said, "Oh man, that stock's scary." Okay, scary, sure, but when you're trading around VWAP and you're trading the style that we trade, there is no fear. You in the back, does fear exist in this dojo? What do you say? No, sensei. Fear does not exist in this dojo, does it? Pain does not exist in this dojo, does it? We trade VWAP. We isolate trades that are risk reward friendly. So if you were afraid to trade this stock, how about a little faux show bro at 46 bucks? Oh, wait, then it breaks VWAP again at 56. And then where does it go? Back to 72. But Kenny, then it rolled over and died. Not with us in it still, right? It rolls over, sells it, right? Then you say, hey, man, that stock was pretty crazy. Maybe I'd get another chance at it. How about a faux show, bro? VWAP break there at 45 again. Sorry, 54. Where did it go? Same price, 72.50. How you doing? Man, I really wish I'd get another chance at this stock. Okay, there it is again. Right? Faking you out, shaking you out, faking you out, shaking you out, faking you, shaking you out, all at VWAP. That's identifying the risk for you. So as long as you stay above the VWAP and then test it from on top, you have a new trade. Why not buy it at 61, risking 3 points? You ain't trading the stock if you're not willing to risk 3 points, and then it rips to 85 that time. And that's all I'm going to say about that because I got something better. V-Wave. We're in from 360, right? It's an IPO, my friends. It's an IPO. It's an IPO that just broke all-time highs in the greatest trading market yet. Did I just say the greatest market ever in the history of ever? This is the market. I don't care what you may have lived in 1997 to 2000. This is better. More opportunity, more names to choose from, greatest risk reward in the history of trading. Using our style of trading meets the greatest market. This is the greatest time to be a trader / investor / anything you want to slash. Just be involved. And what we've been doing every day in the midst of the greatest bull market in the history of mankind, which it is right now, these 3 months have been it. We've never had this type of move, and I still think it's going to continue. I think we're going to double from here. And guys, hope you guys are still long the queues, right? We're about to go up another 500 points from here. Not today, but every day there's 5 of these V-Wave type of stocks. A lot of them pump and inevitably dump, which this one probably will eventually, but we play the pump like LiDAR, right? You guys know about LiDAR? Of course you do. 3 days ago, NVIDIA mentioned them, right? And the stock came out of the dead, woke up from the dead, and it became our favorite stock for the last 3 days. And what happened this morning? Blow off top, They do the offering. That's the risk out there when you got these pump and dump piece of shit stocks. And again, this is the dirtiest, doggiest, worst one of them all. And that's why I loved it. Look at this 5-year chart. The hell you doing? The stock is not even worth a penny. It's had 2 reverse splits in the last 3 years. The stock is basically -4. It's worthless. But in this market, you give it a reason to run, and they run 10x, right? So the reason to run was they got mentioned with NVIDIA. Huh? What is it? I don't know. Who cares? NVIDIA mentioned them on a conference call. You buy the stock, just like BMNR. Hey, what's this? I don't know. Tom Lee says he's involved. Buy it. Stock goes from $8 to $161. This is the market you want to be in. This is the market where the small account player is making money. This is where the guy with some decent amount of cash is getting rich. These are the days where the $200 guy, the $500 guy is doubling and tripling his account. So all those questions I've been asked over the last 30 years, can I do what you do with a limited amount of money? You certainly can. You certainly can. And this is the market to do it in. This is the market, and I never say that out loud. Nobody's getting rich as a day trader, but in this market, you have the potential to get rich every day. Stocks like Vape and LiDAR and our new favorite stock, VWAP. So let me elaborate on why this stock's about to go to 10, then 1250, then 100, right? Because look, let me show you the chart, right? Here's VWAP, right? What do you notice? And I'm going to put it on a 1-year chart. What do you notice? I'm going to put it on a 3-month chart. What do you notice? I'm going to put it on a lifetime 3-year chart. Oh, you can't go 3 years, but you could go 3 years. What do you notice? It's all the same chart. You know why? Because it's a brand new stock, baby. Fresh meat. Tasty. I've never seen a stock. And by the way, we picked this stock up when there was 27,000 shares traded on it. It's got 147 mil now. 27,000 shares. I picked it up on my scanner this morning at $3.45, right? And that was up already $1. So then you go back and you say, hey, what is this? First, you don't care. Then you kind of want to know. Hey, what is this? Oh, I don't know. You know why it's ripping? Do you care? Exactly. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody should. It's going to $10. That's all you need to know, right? So why is it going to $10? Let me explain. This was an IPO on the 15th of July that nobody gave a shit about. Right? Nobody cared. Nobody cared. Nobody knew the stock existed until this morning. Blah, 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 blah. They mentioned AI. Blah, 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 blah. AI? Buy it! That's all you need to know. So now you got an AI stock that's an IPO that nobody cared about until today, and it's breaking its IPO highs in a market that never goes down. How are you not buying this stock? Oh, right, we were. And too bad you weren't with us this morning. And I implore you, is that a word? I encourage you, I beg. Join my room. I put you in front of these names every single day since I've been trading. I made my bones on dumb shit like this back in 1997, coming out of the pink sheets and the bulletin boards. I know a little bit more about this stuff than anybody on earth. And now, the knowledge that I possess, coupled with the greatest indicator of all time, volume-weighted average price, and just using price itself right back at it, we have an unfair advantage now for the first time in the history of trading, where we are the manipulators instead of the manipulated. So all the stuff that people were victim to, we're victimizing them. Because the morons that they are, and I speak affectionately because this is the way I used to think. Hey, what's this piece of shit? Oh my God, it's up 300%. I've got to short it. Yeah, good luck with that. In this market, I'm going to take all your money. Because the shorter, they look at the stock and they're right. That's what makes it hard, right? They're right. This stock probably will go eventually back to zero because all stocks do. 10% of stocks are good, 90% of stocks suck. And who knows what this is going to do, right? But when you're with me, you're in from here and selling here and here and here and here, and you're milking this trade. So we got the luxury of letting it breathe and chop around up here, right? But when you got an IPO that no one ever heard of, coming out of the doldrums, coming out of nowhere, breaking 5, 750 is easy, 10 is our target. And let me tell you what we're going to do here, right? I don't want to root against a stock that we're all in, but I wouldn't even care. Now, I got stops at 750, right? And I'm hoping I get stopped out. What? Yeah. Because I want to sell. I want to see it tank and prove itself to me later today. I mean, right now it's proved itself enough all day. There's a reason that's why we're still in it. And stocks that break 5 go to 750, and 750 generally gets you 10. So I got to think this thing's going to 10, if not 1250, then 15, then 20, then 20, then 25, then 50, then 100. And I got to start thinking that way because every stock that we've been trading lately has gone 10x off its lows. So when we were trading LIDAR last week, and I said, hey, now that the stock's made a turn, it should go 10x off its lows. Its lows were 49 cents. 10x was 490. It went to 644. So this stock just got going, right? So I look at the low, 10x off the lows would be what? $20. I got to think this thing's going to 20. If we get through 10, we'll start having that conversation. But now we just got to stick with it. Let it do what it's got to do. A lot of us are in from cost average of 420, 450. Sold most of it. Now we're milking it. I want to buy more, so I'm kind of rooting against my own name here. I would love to see them smack this down because if they smack it and it holds these levels, it's just going to trap the shorter because you know they're out there, right? They're going to reload because they already got their ass kicked on that last move. And the shorters, not only are they morons to be shorting in a market that never goes down, right? They never give up. Trust me, I'm the ex-president of the Shorting Foundation of America. I had to resign because I was going broke, right? The shorter, every pause, every pullback that this stock has, they got to get back in to try to make their money back. And when it turns, they got to cover because they know they're about to get their asses kicked. But then they got to try it again. And they try it again. And as they keep trying and it doesn't fail, that adds to the burst when it finally does break. And that's what's going to rip it to the 9s, to the 10s, to the 1250s, to the 100s. And by the way, let's factor that in. If you don't think the stock's going to 120, don't even trade it. Don't even trade it. You've got to be, this is the market where you have to be psychotically bullish. You're not thinking this thing's just going to 9, 15, and then 10. You got to start thinking this stock could go to 120. Makes you feel better. That's what I was trying to tell my kid this morning. I was like, listen, I don't care that you missed $1. You got to start thinking the stock's going to at least to 750. So if you're buying it here at 380, you're risking 40 cents to possibly make $4. You got to take the trade. But now up here, you got to start thinking, all right, what's worth my risk? Especially if you're buying it up here. I'm waiting to buy more on a pullback, but I don't know if it's ever going to happen. Up here, you're risking basically $1 to $1.50 for a stock that could legitimately go to $50, maybe $80, maybe $120. Because if you haven't noticed, every other stock is ripping, and they're doing 10x's off their lows. So I got to think this thing's at least a $20 stock, and maybe even today. So let me keep elaborating. Whatever this stock does while we're sitting here for the next 45 minutes, insignificant. Let's say it doesn't break 9.15 while we're here. If this stock breaks 9.15 today's aftermarket, buy it. Why? Because momentum stocks that burst through all-time highs in the aftermarket, because of the lack of liquidity in the aftermarket, you could get the stock to go to 20 in the aftermarket much easier than in the regular session. Regular session, you got more you got more players, you have lots of liquidity, right? So if they pull the liquidity and the demand stays the same, how is this fucker not going to $20? That you should be asking yourself. Let's go. All right, so now for the scary part, right? So you factored in what could happen, right? Now factor in the treacherous part, right? What could it do? Zero. You go to zero today, right? Factor that in. Are you going to let it go to zero with you still in it? No. That's what stops are for. So your first stop, again, there's no way to use a stop here because it's still working. It's doing its business. You see where it broke from? That's your stops. Boom, 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 bang. What price is that? 743. So right now it's all or nothing. It's 743, or we got to hang in there with it. And I got to tell you, if it consolidates, let's say it just consolidates between 743 and 915 for the rest of the afternoon, and it breaks 915 in the aftermarket, buy it. And if you guys have done your due diligence on it, just Google the name. Look what they do. It's where you want to be. Rockets, robots, space, AI, quantum, right? They're right on the fringe. They're doing AI and robots to send into war. If I owned a company, I'd own this company. Because that's where the next wave of world war is going to be forged, right? It's not going to be humans fighting. We're going to be sending in our own cyborg armies. That's what they do. Big fan. So let's talk about the other pump and dump that got dumped today. LiDAR, right? And this is the reason I want to bring this up. Why did LiDAR get smoked? Why do you think? Anytime a stock starts to rip, what's the number one pump and dump play? Your stock gets pumped, what do? Offering. 75 million offering, bang, right in your face. What's good about this V-Wave is that the chances of them doing an offering this close to the IPO, I would think it's not going to happen, right? The stock's only 6 days old. They're going to do an offering 6 days into its life? We've seen blatantly corrupt bullshit like that before, but chances are not. So, big fan. And usually I'm not a fan of stocks up 300% already, but you guys remember Newegg from yesterday or last week here? Right? You didn't want to buy it because it was already up 100%, right? Right? And then if faux show, bro, you didn't want to buy it. Oh, and then you didn't want to buy it because it was breaking out and you thought it had run too far. Oh, and you didn't want to buy it. And then next thing you know, a $9 stock went to $56. They sell computer parts on the internet. This company is a good company, but it's not a good stock. For it to go from $3 to $56, but that's the market we're in right now. You're going to run Newegg from $3 to $56. There is no God. And it's one after another. So you have to start putting these crazy price tags on something just to keep you in, right? Because now you're basically risking $1 to see if this thing rips to $20, at least 20. So almost a flawless day. I lost money on Kohl's, only loss of the day so far. And it was an 8-cent loss because I have zero tolerance. Again, you got a 1-minute multi-day VWAP reversal on Kohl's. I had to buy it and it didn't follow through. I immediately sell it. Zero risk tolerance for losses, and especially in this market. If you're going long something and you're not getting paid pretty quickly, get the hell out. Go find something else. And that's the only trades I've done. It's been LiDAR, V-Wave, and Kohl's. Should I even mention I shorted the Qs just to prove myself right? Look, even when it works, you're still wrong, right? I was short the Qs for about a minute, immediately wrong, got out, small loss. Even this trade, right? And by the way, if you don't believe the market's rigged, let me explain one more time. Market's rigged, right? So it's pre-programmed to do things. So this market, what it's best at doing right now is the faux show bro, the fake out, shake out, breakout, faux show bro. So think of the market as a bucking bronco or a bull with his balls in a knot trying to get you off its back. How does it get you off its back? By breaking levels from where people place stops. Fake out, shake them out, break out, because we never really trend down. But when you have prior day VWAP on your chart already and the stocks start to gravitate to it and then they see it hold, you say to yourself, wow, this is market manipulation. Yes, because it's pre-programmed to trade around volume weighted average price. Today's blue line is today's VWAP. Wait a minute. Big size on the offer. Wait a second. I got to get ready to buy some. Hold on. So again, before I get my bid in, I like when they start flashing big size on the offer. That's usually a buyer. Even though the stock's tanking right now, watch them put the size on the offer, and then they're gobbling it up. Now I look for the confirmation in the dark pools, the big blocks. I don't see them in there yet. So I like when I start seeing big blocks in the dark pool. You haven't seen anything go by yet on the V-Wave. But usually the big size on the offer, I watch time and sales, they were buyers. And you see how they were all bought, 790 to 805? I'm surprised you haven't seen some big blocks going across over here yet. A little surprised. Actually, maybe I don't have it. It could be off the scanner. There you go. That's why. Wait a minute. Nah. Well, that should be on there. Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't see any. But anyway, suffice it to say, it's a buy, right? That time they really attacked it, right? But they started flashing the size on the offer. That's the difference. So you got that mini rug pull, but they started flashing the size on the offer. And the offer was getting bought, right? So that's a buyer. Obviously the stock has been rug pulled 7 different times, and every time it stayed pretty damn good. I ain't afraid. Not afraid. What was I about to show you now? What was I just showing you? Forgot. Oh, the cues. So yeah, if you join the room, right, we give you this special code that builds this chart for you, and you'll never be on the wrong side of a trade ever again unless you choose to be. And I mean that. Right, so, our hero Salagello was shorting it right here on the rollover. Tests the VWAP from underneath. That confirms that you should be short. But you always go back to rule number one when you're shorting the Qs. Shorting is short-lived, and you're going to die. So if you get to prior day VWAP, that is a monumental moment. You actually got a short that worked to the prior day VWAP. Chickadee ching, cash out at least 80%, and then it starts to rally back, and you get stopped out anyway. But look at the V bottom right at prior day VWAP. This is not a coincidence. This is how the market's built. And all we're doing is we're just rinsing and repeating, following the trend, and following what works most of the time. And when things don't work, like Kohl's, you say, hey, that's strange. Why is this not working? I don't know. Sell it, right? I top ticked it right here. And now it's almost the top tick of the whole trade. I bought the 1 minute multi-day VWAP break. And then it made a new high, and then it rolled back over, and that was it. Bye. So while we're here, actually, you know what? I went to the other room and I forgot to get the coffee. Huh? Or did I drink it already? I don't even know. It's been a long day. All right, hang on a second. Lidor, yeah, there's the top story. May offer and sell from time, offering price 75 million. Well, let me go get some coffee, and I want to show you a couple other things. You know, I've been getting out of most of the things that I've been swinging. I'm not in Myrna anymore. I still got the Clove. That stock stinks, but I'm holding out for a couple of years. ASTS obviously got smacked down last week. But I want to talk about the most peculiar trade right now. It's a swing short. I don't know if anybody was involved, but yeah, that Tom Lee stock. By the way, Kathy Wood bought BMNR. It's over now. Once she taints it with her awfulness, nah, she's awful still. I don't care if people like singing her praises this year. The market's up 60% off lows. If you're not making money in this environment, then I don't know what to tell you. She's still going to go down in history as a hack. When Roku's at zero and Zoom's at zero and Teledoc's at zero, and if it wasn't for Palantir and Tesla, she'd be still a nobody. All right, I'll be right back. But I have zero going on right now. So if you have any questions, you want me to show you some VWAP on your name or something that you're interested in, you know, I'm pretty good. And speaking of that, on August 16th, I'm getting together at 12 o'clock. August 16th is a Saturday. And we're going to go over the last 3 weeks of all these amazing trades, talk about where you bought them, where you should have been placing stops, how to identify the risk reward, how to use VWAP on multiple time frames, and find out how to be involved. August 16th. If you want to email the corporate overlords, it's kenny@hitthebid.tv. And there'll be presents and free prizes and shuffleboard on the Lido deck. Should be a good day. At least 2 hours. Do I like trading futures? I only trade futures when I got nothing else to do. Usually it's Sunday night if there's something important going on. But you want to see futures trading? NQ futures is the only thing I trade. NQ futures is the QQQ. I don't trade the futures intraday, which I should, but last night when the futures opened up They opened up 100. They sold off about 20. And then they did a faux show, tested the VWAP, faux show, test the VWAP, rolls back over, test the VWAP again. Each time it pulled back, it was lower. Then it broke the VWAP, buy it, little faux show just for good measure. And that was the only trade I was involved in. I like futures trading because there's less noise. The only thing I've ever traded other than actually, you know what's funny? I've never traded. I don't think I've ever traded the US SPY. I've traded VIX and I've traded the NQ. I think I traded gold futures once, maybe oil. Was that what was /CL? I don't remember. Right, CL. What was CL? I don't know. We were trading this during COVID. It's probably the last time I traded it. But lately, I've been all about these V waves and LIDARs and some earnings reports. But there was no earnings to talk about today, so stuck with the V wave. A couple other ones that we love, ASTS. After their offering, you still had a faux show bro morning. That wasn't bad. Yeah, CL's the oil, right? Yeah. We had an oil trader was part of the room for a while. That's all he traded. So going back to that other trade I was trying to show you last week, the VWAP breaks, the faux show bro on earnings reports, so far all winning. We only had 8 of them, but all 8 trades turned out to be winning trades. And just waiting to do the next one. And the next one will be tonight. Tonight's earnings reports for tomorrow are going to be, one of my faves, Waste Management. Our old favorite, Rambus, which I don't know if anybody's still in from 2 years ago, but you're back up to $70. I'd probably get out of that before they report earnings. You got Nucor, Waste Management, Rambus. You guys remember Sanmina? How long have you been trading? Hartford Financial? Yeah, we're going old school now. Sanmina, Hartford. And again, these are stocks I don't typically trade, but I watch them on earnings day because gaps get faded and gaps get bought. So tomorrow morning, I won't be here, but those are the stocks, if I was around, I'd be trading. And then, of course, Thursday night, the biggest night of the week, you got Apple. I think you have Amazon the same day. And that will be the direction the Qs take for the next week or so, which will be up. And if anybody made some, again, we're taking some of this V-Wave money. I'm buying Palantir options. I think the stock's going to 180 minimum. I think it's going to do it on the report. I don't usually gamble going into an earnings report, but I think Palantir opens up at 180 that morning after they blow out their numbers. And then you're never going to get a chance to buy it ever again on a way to 250. And again, if you guys remember when you met me, what did I tell you about Palantir? Right? Remember, it was a $10 stock, and I said, this is how you own. You want to be a part of the CIA? Buy Palantir. Right? Now it's a 1,600% return. I think you're going to get 2,500%. I think the stock's going legitimately $1,000 minimum, and then gets taken private by the government. But stocks that do what this is doing, this is still IPO in mode. IPOs that break all-time highs, that's why you bought it. 50 got you 80, 80 got you 120. Then you had the Trump tariff moment, gave you a chance to buy the stock under 80, which I never thought I'd see again. 80 gets you back to 120, 120 gets you 150, 150 gets you 180, 180 gets you 250. Who didn't buy Did you buy some V-Wave yet on the pullback? Well, I told you there was a buyer out there at 805, right? All right. Anyway, this stock is going to 180 and then 250. And in this market, it could be 250 before you think it might take another 8 months, 6 months. Nah, it'd probably take 3 weeks. Because once it breaks 180, it's probably going to go right to 250. So I'm buying. This is not what I normally do, but I want to be involved. So the 155s for August 8th, we bought these at $10. Whatever it was, 1020, 1030, 1040, 1050. Right? I'm not going a lot, right? So I bought these. Let me make sure I got my one. I only bought one so far. And now we got them at what? Did I get the 1040? I got the 1040. So 1040, and now I'm going to sell the 170s for this week just to pay a little bit for me to own these. So now I'm selling. Oh, I didn't get them, but now they're 31 by 33. I'm going to sell a 170 to help pay for that 155. And the idea is I don't like buying the option the night before the earnings report because that's when they're jacked the most. That's when they're the most expensive. If you do it about 7 or 8 days before the report comes out, sometimes they actually increase the option value on the anticipation of the impending volatility. That's why you don't want to buy the night before. If you're going to do like a trade that you're thinking about holding into a report, you buy it a week or so, 2 weeks before. So I don't mind. Plus, if anybody's still in the Palantir, don't ever sell the stock. As long as they're calling it overvalued, there's no chance we're going down. And if anybody bought VWAP, please tell me somebody bought it. Fuckhead. Son, talking to you. How many times am I going to tell you? If you get a faux show, bro, buy it. Right? There it is. Fake out, shake out. You see that little candle? That little tiny candle that broke the prior low? Buy it at $7.95. And then I say big size on the offer. There's a buyer here at $8.05. Buy it. Buy it already. So now if you're in an $8.05, there you go. Now you sell some here at the neck line again, $8.70. Now you can put a stop at $8.20 and hang in there with it for a while. One of these moves is going to break $9.15. And if you're waiting for the $9.15 break, look, it's going to be a good trade anyway. Right? The more this thing chops around and goes sideways all afternoon, right? What happens when it breaks 9.15? What's going to go up 10 cents? It's going to rip. It's going to rip to 10 and then 12.50, then 15, then 100. You're worried about 20-cent pullbacks on a stock that might be going to 100 this afternoon? Why? Do you really think it's going to go to what? You didn't just ask me that, did you? Yeah, I do. Because I've seen this stupid thing 1,000 times this week. Remember when I said, hey, this BMNR has got the potential to go to 120? No way. No way. Wait. What to 161? Remember when I said Newsmax could go to 250? What the hell are you talking about? Why would it go to 250? Because it's an IPO breaking out. And it went from 15 to 265. Have you been watching this market? So if you're not thinking this stock could go to at least 20, don't trade it. 20 is going to be a liftoff point when it breaks through 20. Speaking of pump and dumps, the bull, you guys having any fun with this thing, right? 12.5 got you back to 15. 15 got you 17.50. We're thinking about doing it all over again, right? Come back to Papa. I love this freaking stock. Every time it pulls back, there's buyers. So you didn't make the first move, the second move, wait for it. It's very, very cooperative stock. Wait for it to get under the 15. Maybe they faux show it. The orange line is its monthly VWAP. That's what I'm waiting for. Bring it. Bring it, meat. Big size on the offer at 9 there, son. What did Dad teach you about big size on the offer? You get it now? You understand? Big size on the offer. There they are. You think those are sellers? They're not, if you need me to answer the question. Hey, how come it didn't break 9? They're working it, baby. I'm already thinking 3 days ahead when this thing breaks 9.15 in the aftermarket. Now, that was kind of a rug pull, right? But watch. Let's see what happens. Let's see if they rug pull it enough. Because inevitably, when they rug pull it enough, we're going to have to get the hell out, whatever we have left, if they decide to do that. But you see these engulfing bearish candles? Now you got yourself a brand new reaction candle. You got a whole new stock now, right there. That just gave you a whole nother realm of its new existence. The only candle that means anything to you now is that candle. You got a bullish into a bearish engulfing candle, and it just basically held. So now whatever happens next, going to have to come out of this candle. Comes out of the bottom, you get a tank. Comes out to the top, you're going to rip to highs. Because that was an important moment right there in the life of this stock. You went from a bullish engulf to a bearish engulf, and now you got to wait for the next thing. So now you're inside that monster reaction candle. Whatever happens next, you come out on the upside. Chances are you're breaking new highs. You come out to the bounce downside. Chances are you're going to be searching for its friends down there at 780. And that's how you adjust your trade as it's happening. So if I was still long some size, now I use that as my out. I'm not going to wait for it to go down here. And if I get what I want, they really rug pull this thing, right? Way down to 625, rug it back to the 550, holds, turns, then we load the up. And if it gets back to 9 after that move, that would be awesome. But right now you're in limbo. And, hopefully you guys bought some at under 8 and just got paid. So getting paid a little bit on these scalps gives you some money for some other trades later, like Palantir. By the way, I'll say this out loud. If Palantir is not a $250 stock within the next 2 years, I'm quitting the business. Yeah, I'll go on a limb. I'll say it. I'll leave the country, as the famous people said, right? I'll leave this country. By the way, see that stock hood? It's an indication of market strength because it's a leader, right? They tried to sell it off. Inevitably, they can't keep it below prior day VWAP. The buyers outweigh the sellers. Bull market. What time is it? 12:44. All right. So you know what I'm doing for the rest of the day, right? Staring at that stock. And don't be afraid later today. If it's breaking 9.15 in the aftermarket, buy yourself 200 shares. Probably goes to $10 in 2 seconds, right? And if it doesn't, you got 200 shares. Stock tanks $2, you're out 400. Under 750, stock probably goes back to 5. But right now, you see there's big volume coming in at these upper levels. That's bullish for the afternoon. So factor in what this thing's done already, right? 250, you already got your 5, 750, and close to 10. Rational thought says pull back to 6.25, very doable, if not expected, because we've seen VWAP reversion trades. Especially, look, the breakout price is now VWAP. I wouldn't be shocked to see this thing ripped down to 6.25, right? I'll be waiting. And let's say the stock goes dormant for a couple of days. Hey, what happened to that V-Wave stock? Stop what you're doing, right? Let's say it does go dormant for 2 or 3 days. Whatever you're doing, wherever you are, no matter what's going on in your life, if you see it above 915, buy it. Could be next week, a month from now. Buy it. Because that will be a fresh, new high on a stock that it's brand new. And brand new stocks that break 915, 9 times out of 10, you're on your way to $10, if not a lot more. Be right back. It's 1,000 degrees outside. Does anybody go out there? So what else you got going on? Anybody got any questions? I got some time. What's up with BMNR? Kathy Wood bought it. It's over. It's over. Once Kathy Woods taints a stock, it's usually over. Right? She's ruined two or three of the names that I like. But this stock, again, it went from 8 to 160 and then crashed. It's got to find itself again. I have faith in Tom Lee. It'll probably have another move. But I'm not even joking. It's kind of now tainted by Kathy Lee. Kathy Lee. Kathy Wood. Kathy Wood bought $161 million worth of the stock, I think, last week at $42.50, between $42.50 and $45. It's broken now. Like CoreWeave was broken. Stocks are allowed to go down. The market never goes down, but stocks are allowed to go down. You know, CoreWeave was my favorite short. If I had to pick a favorite short, it was this stock because it actually had a blow off top, tried to get back above it, failed, tried to get back above it, failed, creating a downtrend. And then it became the head and shoulder, test the shoulder, rolled over that day. And that's when I was convinced you were actually going to get a stock that actually pulls back to 120. Why 120? Stocks where they break out from tend to retrace back to those levels. 120 breaks. And when you join the room, we'll show you how multiple time frame transcends all time and space. This is a yearly VWAP of CoreWeave, and that was our target on the downside if anybody was crazy enough to swing trade it short. And look, you're almost there. And what happens when it breaks there? Take a look at this. We have it set where we could just file some more data. So that's 9 months, right? How about 6 months? Basically all the same because the stock's pretty damn new. And there's no other gauge here. So let's go. No, that's the lifetime VWAP of the trade. So you're talking about a stock that just was awesome on the way up, pretty damn great on the way down so far. If it breaks that, that's a lifetime VWAP break. But right now, that was the target. You get under there, chances are you're going back to 97.50. What else you got? Love PLT. Yeah. Looking to sell a credit put spread under UNH tomorrow. And looking for a selling puts on UNH after the earnings. Yeah. That's when I would probably do it. Yeah. I'm a fan, actually, of UNH because it's already been destroyed. But let me show you UNH. There's a 20-year VWAP coming into play on the stock. No joke. So I look back 20 years on a monthly. That's kind of scary, right? It's so close that And that's 100 more points. But then I went and looked at 10 years worth of data because that's taking in, this astronomical move. Then I went to go see where it really broke out from, which is right around here. So I just grabbed that data set and I went on a 15-year. Aha. So the support had held back in, this is 2018, little faux show bro right there. That's telling me 216, 217. Still can't be a fan of the stock. I want to see it washed out down there. And then you could sell some 180 puts going out a year from now for like $25. I'm with you. Because let's say we do get it down to 217. And then you go out. Again, when I sell puts, I go out 6 months, usually maybe a year. This thing tanks another 50, 60 points. You go out 2 years, you could sell like a 180 for $20. So then you want to own the stock at 160, right around there. We'll talk more about that when it happens, but I would not go into the report anything. No way. I don't go into reports usually long or short. I'm a reversionary earnings trader. That's what I do. But there are certain situations like Palantir. I think it's gonna explode to the upside. I don't care because the stock is still disliked. They're still talking about how it's overvalued. People are talking about how it's the most overvalued stock ever in the history of the market. That's what one analyst said, and that was at 120. He went to school for that too. A lot of school. Probably got a PhD. Probably did a lot of math. Right, talking about how it's overvalued, based on what? There's no way to value stocks in a bull market. You can't value desire, right? If everybody wants to own something, then it's what we call invaluable, unable to be priced, and that's it. Everybody wants to own it. So how do you put a price tag on it, right? Just like Tesla on the way up the first time around. Everybody wanted to own it. Here comes the stupid analyst talking about how overvalued it is. No, whatever you're valuing it on doesn't mean anything. Everybody wants to own it. It's going higher. I'm not here to debate with the market any longer, right? There's no way to value any stock, right? Remember, this is the wolf market we're talking about, kids. We're in the wolf market. You know what that means? Yeah, let me explain. Wolf, WOLF, right? The wolf market. Over the last year, right? Well, over the last 3 months, the company just announced, hey, look, we're going out of business. And the stock crashed. And then he reiterated that they're going out of business. And the stock went up 10x. Why? And then inevitably, it seems like rational thought came in again. And then when it went down to 39 cents, they basically reiterated, oh, yeah, remember us? We just want to remind everybody we're going out of business. And the stock went 10x. I'm not here to debate with anybody. There's no way to have rational thought anymore. It's nice. You want to hold on to the idea that rational thought will mean something again? No, it doesn't. But I'll give you some rational thought. When Tesla got smacked on earnings, and you know that stock has a cult following, rational thought said, I should be buying some Tesla. There you go. There's some rational thought. And it worked. But rational thought doesn't work in this market anymore. That's why you can't value stocks based on what? Math and what you think the company's going to make and what they do? Who cares? They're killing terrorists. That's worth $1,000 a share as far as I'm concerned. And that's all I need to know. That's why Tesla, they're going to colonize Mars. That's worth at least $3,000 a share to me. I think the stock's going to $3,000. Maybe not this week. But 10 years from now, you're telling me Tesla's not a $3,000 stock? It's the only thing Kathy Wood actually has some sense about. I think she's right. She says 2,000. I say 3,000. But then you got stocks like that one, like Roku. This company has no business existing. Raise your hand if you know what they do. Nobody knows. There's no reason for their. Wait a minute. Is that HPK? No, wait. What was the other one that went for 2,500? HDK? What was the Chinese stock that we're always comparing every one of these pump and dumps to? The king of the pump and dump. What was it again? Oh, HKD, right? It's the dyslexic version, right? So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And one of these days, and if anyone's wondering, why do I keep shorting the Qs and losing money every day? Because I got to be there. I got to try, right? You had 2 fails and a win today, basically flat. One of these days, I'm telling you, people, I've seen it. I was there. I was there in 2018, man. Market went down and stayed down the whole year. It was fucking crazy. 2021, remember those days? Remember when Biden was elected, we dropped 36%? People forget about that because it turned into the greatest bull market ever again, like it always does. I don't know when it's going to happen, but one of these days we're actually going to break down and we're going to stay down. I know it's hard to believe, but I've seen it happen. And I'm thinking soon it's going to happen again because I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I think we're going to get right through these earnings. They're all going to be good. And then late August, we always find some sellers. September gets a little scary. And that's why October is the great month because it traps all the shorts from September and crushes their heads in a vice. Like this VWAP is going to do right now. Let's go, people. Ooh, Kenny, the rug pull. Ooh, shut up. If you didn't sell some near 9 before, please do it now. You're so scared. Sell it right here, $8.97. Sold to you. Do it. Do it. You should be in it already. How the hell did this thing not just break 915? Listen, get ready to sell all of it if it doesn't break 915. All right, there you go. I was like, how the hell is this thing not breaking 915? All right, but still, get ready to sell. If it doesn't hit 10, get ready to sell. I'm surprised we're not at 10 already. All right, it's running out of steam a little bit because this burst is not the burst that I was expecting. That's why if it happens in the aftermarket, it would have been better. But now you raise your stop. Don't let it go back below 850. This is a very weak break. Not happy. I expected 950. I expected 10 o'clock. 10 on this move already. So now raise your stop. 875 and 850. Put 2 stops on it. 875 and 850. If it doesn't break 950 right now, they're going to rug pull at any second here. But come on. Kind of shocked we're not at $10 already. I really am. Come on. Big size on the bid. I don't like that. I like the big size on the offer, but we're still getting bought here. Just raise your stop. So if they rug it, 875, 850, I don't think they're rugging it. If they rug it at 950, I'm going to be pissed. Once this thing goes 950 bid, I'm offering out $9.99 right now. $9.99. Yes, yes, yes. Not no, no, no. I got to tell you, this move is very disappointing. See, if they would have saved this 9:15 break for the aftermarket, we'd be at 12.50 by now. Oh, you fucker. I told you, I can smell it. I can smell it. I can smell it. That was a weak break. I knew they were going to rug it. All right. They rugged you for some, but ain't freaking me out. Now, if it breaks 850, run. Hey, all I promised you was 9:15. Nobody trades VWAP like I do. By the way, Palantir. See what happens on Palantir, right? Anybody actually short the stock? It was a short from this morning, right? Oh, shit. I told you I smelled something going on with Palantir. Woo! I might be getting done on my options. Wait a second. Yeah, baby. What's that one? What's that candle all about? I don't know, but I love it. Come on, break it down some more. Yeah, break it down some more. Come on. Come on, bring it. Bring it. Ah, see, it didn't even get cheap enough. I got nothing. Shit. Oh my God, I'm blind. Oh my God. I don't even want to tell you. I'm buying the wrong options. That's why I didn't get printed. I'm in the Augusts. I'm supposed to be buying the August 8th. Oh, see? All right. 155s. 155s right now. 155s. I'm bidding in. $8. 155, August 8th. They're 945 by 990. Yeah, I ain't getting them at 8. I got excited there for a second. I thought I was getting printed at $8. We might. But tell me what that candle was. I'll tell you what it was. Algorithmic trading. That's it. We were talking about short and Palantir all day, right? With the core weave. All right, you guys want to hang out and watch V-Wave break 944 right here? Right? How many times could they try to shake us out of it? Right? Can't get us out of the core position. Sell a little bit on that pullback. Oh, all right. That's why you don't sell it all at one price, kids. That's what keeps you in the trade. Now, if it breaks 944 now and we don't get 10, I'm gonna cash out. You break 944 now and you don't get 10, I'm out 100% of it, and I'll just look to buy it back. So, all right, I'm out. Be careful out there, homies. Okay, you guys got a winner here. Don't fuck it up. Right, and don't be scared to be. I don't even want to call it chasing, because right now you're not letting it go back under 750. That's your risk. You're not risking 300%. All right, I'm out of here.